The sound of the slap echoed through the room long after his hand left my face. For a second, I couldn't hear anything else. Not the ticking clock, not the rain tapping against the windows, not even my own heartbeat, just that sound. The taste of blood filled my mouth as I slowly turned my head back toward him. My husband, Rowan Hart, stood over me with a calm expression that terrified me more than anger ever could. He wasn't breathing hard. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't even upset. It was as if striking his wife was the most ordinary thing in the world. And what scared me most? He had no idea that by the next morning, everything he believed belonged to him would begin slipping through his fingers, including me. You embarrassed me. His voice was quiet, controlled. I pressed my trembling fingers against my burning cheek. Because I said no, his eyes hardened. Because my mother asked one simple thing. One simple thing. That was how they always described it. Simple, reasonable, harmless. But there was nothing harmless about it. His mother, Lydia Hart, wanted to move into our house permanently. Not visit, not stay for a few weeks, live there forever. She wanted the master bedroom because she believed older women deserved the best room. She wanted control of the kitchen because she claimed younger women didn't know how to run a proper household. She wanted access to our finances because she said wives often wasted money. And most of all, she wanted control over me. I had finally refused during dinner. For the first time in 3 years of marriage, I looked her in the eye and said no. Rowan smiled through dessert. He smiled during the drive home. He smiled while unlocking the front door. Then the moment the door closed behind us, he hit me. Now he adjusted his wedding ring and looked down at me. You will apologize tomorrow. I stared up at him from the floor, waiting, watching. He expected tears, begging, fear. I gave him none. The silence irritated him. Men like Rowan didn't understand silence. To them, silence wasn't strength. It was rebellion. You think you are strong? He asked softly. I didn't answer. You live in my house. Silence. You use my name. Silence. You spend my money. That almost made me laugh. Almost. Instead, I lowered my eyes. Because men like Rowan often mistook patience for weakness, and that mistake was about to cost him everything. His mother had raised him to believe that. Lydia always said a good wife obeyed quietly. A good wife never challenged her husband. A good wife accepted her place. Well, I was done being a good wife. Rowan climbed into bed. Within minutes, he was asleep, just like that, as if nothing had happened, as if his wife wasn't sitting bruised and bleeding on the floor. I remained there for nearly 20 minutes. Then slowly, I stood. The room span. My cheek throbbed. My ribs ached. But I made my way into the bathroom and locked the door. The woman staring back at me from the mirror looked tired, bruised, broken. At least that's what anyone else would see. I touched the swelling beneath my eye, then reached behind a loose tile beneath the sink. A hidden phone waited there, a phone Rowan knew nothing about. The screen lit up. 3 unread messages, one from my lawyer, one from my accountant, one from the investigator I'd hired 6 weeks earlier. My pulse quickened. I opened the investigator's message. Final evidence package complete. I smiled. A slow smile stretched across my split lip because Rowan had finally given me what my case needed. Proof. The next morning, Rowan entered the kitchen carrying an expensive designer makeup kit. He placed it on the counter. My mother's coming for lunch. His tone was casual, almost cheerful. Cover that up and smile. I looked at the makeup, then at him, then I smiled. A real smile. And somehow,
That made him uncomfortable. At exactly noon, Lydia Hart arrived. She swept into the house like royalty entering her palace. She wore a pale blue dress, expensive perfume, and a smile filled with victory. She kissed Rowan's cheek, then examined me. "You look exhausted, Ivy." I smiled politely. "I slept fine." She laughed, the kind of laugh that wasn't really laughter, the kind designed to remind you of your place. Lunch was already prepared: roast chicken, garlic potatoes, fresh vegetables, white wine, all her favorites. Today's performance had to be perfect. Lydia sat at the head of the table, my seat, not by accident. Nothing Lydia did was accidental. "Rowan tells me you've come to your senses." I poured wine into her glass. "Did he?" She smiled. "He said you are emotional." Rowan smirked. "Marriage requires discipline." Lydia nodded approvingly, especially for young wives. I continued serving food. Quiet, calm, listening, recording. Every word, every insult, every threat. The hidden phone beneath the sideboard captured everything. "You'll clear out the guest room tomorrow," Lydia announced. "I'll move in this weekend." "Of course," I replied. Rowan grinned. "See? Was that so difficult?" "No." I looked directly at him. Not difficult at all. Something flickered across his face. A moment of uncertainty, gone almost immediately, because Lydia started discussing plans for my future. She would manage household finances, Rowan would monitor my spending, I would stop consulting work because wives shouldn't focus on careers, and when children arrived, Lydia planned to raise them herself. I smiled through every word, because they had no idea whom they were talking to, no idea who I really was, no idea whose money paid for the food they were eating, whose money bought the chairs beneath them, whose money built the company Rowan loved bragging about. The truth? Years before I met Rowan, I built a technology company under my maiden name. A company I later sold for millions, quietly, privately, safely. This house? Mine. The investment accounts? Mine. The foundation Rowan boasted about? Mine. Even the largest silent investor in his business belonged to me through a holding company he once mocked. They thought they had married weakness. Instead, they had walked into a fortress disguised as a woman. After lunch, Lydia followed me into the kitchen. Her smile vanished. Her real face appeared.
"Listen carefully." Her voice dropped low. "My son is generous, but he's losing patience." I rinsed a plate. "Is he? You need to learn obedience." I turned slowly. "Or what?" Her eyes narrowed. "You lose everything. The house, the accounts, your reputation." Then she smiled. Cold, cruel. "A woman can be destroyed with the right story." I stared at her for the first time all day, directly, without pretending, without fear. And then I said quietly, "So can a family." Her smile disappeared instantly. Before she could answer, the doorbell rang. "Who is that?" Rowan called from the dining room. I dried my hands carefully. "My lawyer." The silence that followed was beautiful. Rowan opened the front door. His confident expression disappeared immediately. Two attorneys, a forensic accountant, and a police officer stood outside. Rowan's face turned white. "What is this?" I stepped forward. "My guests." Lydia rushed into the hallway. "Don't let them inside." The lead attorney raised a folder. "Mrs. Bennett owns the property. She invited us." Rowan blinked. "What?" He turned toward me, slowly, confused, afraid. "What did you do?" I held up the hidden black phone, then pressed play. The hallway filled with voices. Lydia threatening me, Rowan humiliating me. Their plans, their manipulation, their lies. Every word,
every second, every mistake, recorded, documented, undeniable. Rowan lunged toward me. The police officer stepped between us instantly. "Sir, don't."
He froze. My attorney opened a folder. "Rowan Hart, you are being served with divorce papers, a request for a protective order, and civil complaint regarding assault, coercive control, fraud, and financial misconduct." Lydia went pale. "This is ridiculous." Rowan laughed nervously. "She's my wife." "Not anymore," I said. His laugh stopped. "You think people will believe you?" I reached into my pocket, pulled out a makeup wipe, and slowly removed the concealer beneath my eye. The bruise appeared, dark purple, impossible to ignore. "I visited a clinic this morning," I said calmly. "Photographs, medical records, witness statement, timestamps." Lydia grabbed his arm. "Say nothing." Too late. "She provoked me," Rowan shouted. The officer sighed. "Sir, please come with me." "No." He pointed at the walls. "This is my house." I smiled. "No, Rowan." The room became very quiet. "This house was purchased through my trust years before I met you." His eyes widened. "You signed the occupancy agreement yourself." For the first time since I'd known him, he looked truly afraid. The accountant placed another folder on the table. "We also discovered unauthorized transfers connected to accounts controlled by Mrs. Hart." Rowan stared at his mother. "Mother?" Her face hardened. "I did what was necessary." "No." I looked at her. "You stole what wasn't yours." The officer escorted Rowan outside. He shouted my name again and again and again, but it no longer sounded important because it no longer belonged to me. Lydia remained frozen in the hallway, trembling with anger. "You will regret humiliating us." I opened the front door wider and smiled. "No." I looked directly into her eyes. "I regretted marrying him." Then I pointed toward the door. "This is the correction." 6 months later, Rowan pleaded guilty to assault and financial fraud. His company removed him, investors abandoned him, the reputation he worshipped disappeared. Lydia sold her luxury home to pay legal fees and restitution. Her jewelry disappeared, her car disappeared, then her social status disappeared too. As for me, I kept the house, I changed every lock, repainted every room, and transformed Lydia's future bedroom into a bright office filled with sunlight. On the first morning of spring, I sat there barefoot with a cup of coffee. Outside, roses bloomed beside the garden fence. Inside, peace finally lived in the house. My bruises had healed. My future was mine again. My name was still mine. Then my phone buzzed. Another apology from Rowan. Another request. Another excuse. I looked at the screen, then placed the phone face down and watched the roses instead. Because some women hide bruises, some women hide tears, but the strongest women, they hide evidence until the perfect moment arrives. As we come to the end of this story, take a moment to think about everything Ivy endured. Sometimes, the deepest wounds are not the ones people can see. They are the silent tears shed behind closed doors, the cruel words spoken by those who promise to love us, and the loneliness that comes from feeling trapped in a situation that seems impossible to escape. For a long time, Ivy was expected to stay quiet. She was expected to smile through her pain, accept disrespect, and sacrifice her happiness for the comfort of others. Many people face similar struggles every day. They are told to be patient while their dignity is slowly taken away. They are told to endure when what they really need is support,
respect, and freedom. But this story reminds us of an important truth. Kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. Patience should never be mistaken for surrender. And silence should never be mistaken for defeat. Ivy did not win because she was stronger than everyone else. She won because she refused to give up on herself. She prepared. She protected herself. She believed that her life was worth fighting for, even when others tried to convince her otherwise. Maybe someone watching this video is going through a difficult season right now. Maybe you feel overlooked, disrespected, or trapped by circumstances that seem unfair. If that's you, remember this: difficult moments do not last forever. Your current situation does not define your future. Every storm eventually runs out of rain. Every dark night eventually gives way to morning. And every person deserves to be treated with dignity, respect, and kindness. If this story touched your heart, let it be a reminder that your value does not come from the opinions of others. Your worth does not depend on who accepts you or rejects you. You are valuable simply because you are you. Thank you for spending your time with us today. And remember, no matter how difficult life becomes, no matter how heavy the burden feels, no matter how many times you fall, you are stronger than your fears. You are stronger than your struggles, and you are stronger than your past. And most importantly, you are stronger than sadness. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stronger Than Sadness for more powerful stories that inspire hope, courage, and resilience. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay strong, and never stop believing that better days are ahead.